Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators Today. Today we have a special guest.
Lucius Baston.
All right, welcome. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Meosha.
Of course. Of course. I'm so glad I could talk to you. You're such a busy man. You're a busy bee these days. So I'm glad I could talk to you.
Well, I'm very blessed, definitely, to even with everything that's going on, to be able to be working and everything. So I'm happy.
That's great. So tell us, I know about you, but the audience, what do you like? Where are you from?
Well, I was born and raised in New York, so I'm New York born and bred, straight up Queens, New York City, 34th Liberty Ave. Oh, I'm sorry, that's that. That's that it comes through, So, but that's where I'm from. Born and raised in New York City, for sure.
New York City. Now, was it always like, would you say obviously New York is like the place to be for Broadway and lights and all that stuff, right? So where did the love for acting come from?
Oh God, that wasn't even a thought. Like the love of acting didn't come till years later. So I wasn't even interested in acting at all. Like during that whole time, I was doing music. I was a DJ since 11.
Wow.
Yeah, I was spinning on the ones and twos, in like since the fifth grade. I even got paid to DJ for my school dance. I spun the music for my school dance in sixth grade. Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
that was my whole path in the early stages of hip hop and everything. So that's what I grew up in. So acting wasn't really this thing I was thinking of, because like entertainment was not this option,
Right.
to go out and actually earn a living. So we were just having fun. So the acting thing didn't even come till years later after I'd done radio. I pretty much evolved in doing radio. I had my own mix show. I was DJing clubs. And but it was a young woman that had some it's a really funny story. She had some pictures of herself on the desk, and they were really big pictures. And I remember just looking at those pictures going like, wow, how conceited you got to be to carry around pictures of yourself. Who does that? And apparently she, because
Yeah.
she said she was an aspiring actress, and literally in that moment, in that, like, I was like seized like a bolt of lightning, and I think all I heard was, I'm an aspiring actress, and then it was like blah blah blah. I wasn't even listening. That's all I heard.
Yeah.
And then I decided, I said, I want some headshots. And so I did. So
That's amazing.
I just went and got headshots done. That's what I did.
Wow.
And I had to wait, I think probably like, cause this guy hooked up. So I had to wait maybe like a few months. And like, I remember it was like January, like in the beginning of 2004, or, and then he recommended an acting class that wasn't far from where I lived at all. I stuck with that acting class for 4.5 years, and here we are today.
Oh, wow, that's incredible. Headshots, like that's like literally what you heard, and you're like, I just want headshots. Like,
Yeah, I want headshots.
that's
I
incredible.
wanted that. Yeah, yeah.
So okay, so you get the training, and I mean, how did you find it? Did you seek it yourself? Did somebody help you figure out like where to go to, get some training?
No, the photographer had recommended the
Oh,
class. And so
wow.
I had done one class before meeting him, because I got the headshots. And so I knew I think for me, I knew I needed training. I knew I
Right.
was talented. I knew I had talent, but I knew I needed to learn the craft. That's the way I am with anything. The same with any business. You need to learn that business. And so went to the first class. It wasn't all that successful. I didn't feel I was learning anything until I met that photographer, and he recommended the class. And that class was like, wow. When I stepped in, they was doing this exercise where they're talking to people, like it was called put them on the wall, and where you're saying all these things that you are mad about and aggravated about, and like it was really emotional in there. And I'm like, oh wow, I'm in the right. I just knew I was in the right place, because I'd never been around like just that were just in the moment and in the emotions like that, and it was really supportive. Like I was like, oh wow, so this is therapy. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. Oh, were you in LA at this time, or were you,
I've
no, you're
never
still in New York?
never in LA. My whole career in the very beginning, all I was in Florida, Tampa, Florida.
Wow.
Every pretty much all of my credits that you see, um, from when I got started in 2004, that's all. I was living in Florida.
Holy crap. I didn't think Florida was the place to be for acting or anything like that.
And
That's
it
amazing.
really wasn't.
But you made it work, which is incredible.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
yeah, it was the hub spot. Like a lot of commercials were going on, and at one point, some films and some TVs going on. They had some sort of an incentive, but what made it the spot to be was because the Southeast, like states like Louisiana, started
yeah.
having film incentives, and they were just the one that kind of really kicked it off. And then, the Carolinas then followed suit, and then Atlanta followed suit, and then everybody else kind of tapped off, and then Atlanta said, we got this. And so it was all in driving distance. So it worked out for me. I knew, like I'm a father of two, so there was no way I was just going to run out to LA. The last thing I wanted was my daughters to not know who their father was, or only see them. I said, yeah, I'm not. They're not going to have daddy issues and be on the pole somewhere. And,
No, that's good. No, that's good.
my most important role was father. And but the thing was, yeah, I was able to launch and do everything from right there in Tampa, Florida. But I was willing to drive. I had over, probably by the time my truck died that I had at the time, had over 275,000 miles on it. I would fly, I would drive, a lot of driving miles. So wherever I needed to be, I was there.
You did it. Wow. I love that. You were determined. You're like, nothing's going to stop me. I'm going to just do this. I love that. I love that. So, okay. So you're in Florida. How did you make that transition to Atlanta?
That was actually 4 years ago, because what in the beginning, what we learned from class was, is business, right? They teach you three different segments: business, instrument, craft. Business being the main thing. So business wise, I needed to get representation in these different markets, right? So this is before it was all together, but that I needed to get representation. So I need an agent in New Orleans. I need an and I have one in Florida. I need another one in Atlanta, and I should be good. And
Yeah.
and that's pretty much what I did. And so I was already with the agency, but I went through some personal things. Like I was getting out of a relationship and everything, and I was like, well, shit, I might as well just go to Atlanta. And I was already talking about it.
Yeah.
It was just hitting. It was just hitting in Atlanta. I was like, you go where the business is. That as with any job, you go where the work is, and the work was certainly here. So that wasn't until 4 years ago that I got.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, how was that? Like, was Atlanta what you thought it would be, like, as far as like the people? And, when we think about Atlanta, we're thinking about, oh, wow, there's a predominantly a lot of African Americans go there, and they're very, the businesses are flourishing there. How was that? Was it harder, or was it easy to kind of get a community when you moved there to Atlanta of like actors?
Well, I will say to that is it was not a hard transition at all, because I was already coming here. Over
Right.
those years, I was already coming here. But the thing was, but I was never really spending any time really experiencing Atlanta, because I would come, film or audition, whatever it was, and then just go right back home.
Yeah.
Moving here, oh my God, it's amazing. Chocolate City is amazing. I love it here, seeing all the just the African American community that's thriving the way it is. It's just unlike almost anywhere across America. I mean, you don't really see it like this, and it's also like really, really diverse. I'm used to that coming from New York. So to me, I just fit right in. But I've never seen it like it is here, like these really, really, really like affluence and just all levels of blackness going on here. And I love it. I love seeing it, and I love being part of it and being a part of that narrative.
That's wonderful. Yeah, because when I think about Atlanta, I think about, because I live in LA, and so when just going there it was hard to build community because most people are very, I don't know, they're fickle out there in LA. But I just wonder how it is in Atlanta. Are they very? I would think because it's the southern, it's kind of the south, so people are more friendlier, I would think. But then again, it's like people from all around the world come to Atlanta, so building that community was hard for me in LA.
Well, I understand exactly what you mean in that LA thing. I got a whole story about that. It's just different out there because to me, it just felt when you're in New York, it's like if people don't care about you, they just don't care, and you're gonna know it. Nobody's, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just real and raw. You come to the South, it's a little bit more hospitality. Not the same, and even so, Atlanta feels different than Florida. Florida doesn't even feel the same as it does here in Georgia, because
Yeah.
Georgia, definitely that Southern hospitality. People are nicer. If you're from New York, LA, and people just go hi, you kind of go what?
Right, you're like, what?
Yeah, talking to me. It'd be like, "Are you talking to me?" And then it's like, "Oh,
Right.
they're being nice." Oh, okay. I'm not. That's the biggest difference. LA, yeah, I know exactly what you mean because people are really kind of to themselves, and people only want to kind of talk. Especially in this business, if you're doing something, who do you know? I'm a writer. I'm an actor. I'm a producer. And it's unfortunate because I really like the weather in Cali. I had that same vibe though. I had that very same vibe you're talking about for sure.
Well, I mean, so I look at your career and I look at it, I'm like, man, you are everywhere. Sometimes I watch something, I'm like, oh my God, there he is again. Like you are working. I love seeing it. I'm like, so when did you start to like, as far as you got an agent in Atlanta now, you're booking roles, like, okay, I'm putting out this work. Now I'm seeing the fruits of my labor. I'm seeing my hard work paying off. What does that feel like for you?
It's just confirmation to me. It's this constant confirmation that I'm supposed to be here. That I'm aligned with my purpose. We spend most of our lives, we're taught to go to school, get a job, and that creativity for some reason is not a part of that equation, and that you can actually have a livelihood in the arts. And I just I never saw growing up that like the arts would be where I would make my living, and earn my money because, we just are not taught that. But to see it all happening, to me is just constant confirmation, the manifestation and realization of what has always been inside me is actually of value, and it counts and it's worthwhile. And I'm a living testimony to it.
I mean, you're doing amazing. So I mean, now I mean, I know that you're on this awesome. You've been on some fantastic shows. Um, One in particular that I really am into right now is Lovecraft Country. I just had to bring it up. How did you get that job? Where did that come? Like, I mean, they're like that process.
Well, each job that I'm going for is an audition. It's an audition process. If I'm fortunate enough, I get some direct booking. But for us actors, it's all basically doing an audition for it. And I remember auditioning for it. I really didn't know what it was. It's just like in most cases, you could be a part of a hit show, but you don't know.
You don't know.
Right, you don't know because it's just it's not out yet. You don't know how popular it's going to be, so you just do it. And you're like, okay, on to the next. It was the same thing like with Stranger Things. I didn't even know what that was. I was just like, this is, and you don't know much, and you're just working that day or the days you're on set. And so, yeah, Lovecraft is amazing though. Lovecraft is just, oh God, man, it's the thing we've been waiting for so long because it's encapsulating so many different genres and so many different ways that we haven't been able to see ourselves in, and is very unapologetic about its delivery. I personally love that, so to be a part of that, like I'm saying, you don't know what it's going to be until it comes out, and then you go, oh, wow, this is great. And then you go, so I'm just usually in just a mode of gratitude, because it's like, oh, wow, that's what that is. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. It has such a powerful message. Even like, I mean, like right now where we are, with how our world is going. It's such a timely, feels like a timely show. And I'm just wondering, like, like I said, it's an honor to be on, but as an actor, do you like being a part of that narrative, like shedding a light, right? Creatively speaking, but also do you think it's important to use your own platform to talk about that, like social and political issues that are going around or, in the world? Like, how important is that for you?
Well, that's very important because I'm a part of it. I'm in it. We're in it. You can't escape it being Black in America. So you have to be a part of that talk. You have to be a part of that narrative. If you can't sit there and ignore it. I'm sure there's a time that there was a time people may be afraid to even talk about it because we're in that cancel culture now. You say the wrong thing and everybody's ready to cancel you, just for having an opinion. But we have to talk about it because we are still living the same struggles they were in the 50s and 60s that you see in Lovecraft Country. We are still living police brutality. We are still living, but all of these same social challenges that we have to address, because there's no way to get through it and past it until that we address it and actually bring solutions to the table. I think, we haven't done a great job of bringing solutions to the table. A lot of things, if you notice, every 4 years, we're talking about the same 4 or 5 topics. But what I'm really, really proud of this year is with the BLM movement and everything that's happened this year, that the world said, we're tired. We're tired. World, not all 50 states, the world.
Yeah.
Said, hey, man, humanity matters. That's all that Black Lives Matter means, is that, us too, we matter. We're human beings, stop overlooking us. So I think it's very important. And you're seeing a lot of it, and you're seeing a lot of unity over it. Of course, you're getting the divisive side, but the divisive side is the people who are just not want the same for other people that you want for yourself. That's right. The simplest question you could ever ask.
Yeah, absolutely. I was funny. I had a discussion with someone recently about it, and they're from another country. They're like, well, from our point of view, you're on television, right? You get jobs and there's still problems. I'm like, well, yeah, just because someone's on television doesn't mean that the problem doesn't exist. Unfortunately, like, you hear people say, well, you're working, so what's the problem?
Yeah, I guess I'm getting pulled over. I'm getting, I shouldn't be afraid of the people sworn to protect me. So, there's a lot of people, especially if you come from outside of the country, unless you're from, like, Nigeria or from parts of Africa where apartheid was, those people get it. Or if you're I always say, women of oppression should always understand exactly what it is, because women are constantly going through this very same battle, around the world. I'm saying, so, it's not a hard thing to understand. We understand the difference between right and wrong. I think where it gets, confused or misled is a lot of times culture, traditions, and religions are dictating certain things, but we know morally a lot of things that are wrong with certain things. And as long as we keep talking about it and keep moving in the area of progress, I think we'll just continue to get better. But what I'm seeing is that everything came to a head, at the right time, because like I said, hindsight is 2020. Everything's happening right here in 2020, right? What I mean? So I think there's a huge spiritual awakening happening. I think in our consciousness, there's some elevation going on. But there's a saying I always like, you got to go through the mud before you get to the mountaintop. And right now we're going through the mud. The process that has to happen, because big change comes with a whole lot of challenges. It comes from clashing. That's where the change comes from. So when we're seeing this, oh my God, what's going on? No, this we're on the right path, because it has to come to a head. It's like a volcano, and when it's erupting, it's creating new soil, though. It's a big explosion, but after all of that, you have new earth, you have new soil, you know, this fresh ground, you know, to grow from. So it's that same process, and we have to keep going through the process.
I love that. I love that. Actually, I just wonder, I mean, I've definitely had, like, talking about changes and going through the mud. As an actor, have you had any, like, as far as like challenges, can you talk about some of those challenges that you dealt with, or maybe you're dealing with? I don't know.
I think my challenges are not much different from anyone else's. I think that it's just um, the challenges are always either financial or, you know, or working around if you have a job. You know what I mean? It's always that, you know, because this is a business that you don't make money until you're in it, or like your series regular. So you're always constantly, as soon as you finish one gig, it's a gig economy. You're looking to get the next gig, you know, so you have to be hustling to, like, on another job or getting money some other way, you know, to finance your acting career.
That's
You know what I
true.
mean? So that's what you're juggling. And then if you have family, then that, and then, you know, everyday life, of course, your health and everything else. So those are the things that you're juggling. And I say, like I said, it's not much different than anyone else who was wanting to become a doctor. And it's like, okay, I got to have this money for school, but I got to have money to, oh my God, I got a baby. You know, so I would say those are the biggest challenges, but I take all of those challenges in stride because I already know what that is. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like I spent 11 years in the Air Force, you know, so to me, everyday life is like, yeah, okay, yeah, it's supposed to be just like, okay, what are you expecting? I never expect it to be easy. So
Hmm.
it becomes easy.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good. That's really good. Wow. So I mean, hey, you are equipped for this. This is for you. Like, you know, there's people, like, you know, that they're that's their purpose, and like you're in your purpose because, yeah, it just works out. It just works out.
Yeah.
Are you working on anything at at this moment?
Yes.
Ooh.
Here, which is on BET Plus, has got the green light. So we're coming back for season 2 of Bigger. If you haven't seen the first season, it's available on BET Plus. There's a 7-day free trial. Go check it out, binge it. You know what I mean? It's another really, really funny. It's funny, and it's in a way that, like, another story in a way you haven't seen. This is kind of like people in their 30s after college and everything going through life, but it's a real great comedy touching on some real issues, but really hilarious. Oh my God, it's really hilarious.
Who's your character on the show?
I play Terry. I don't know, all of these club owner parts are coming, yeah, I guess, after Atlanta, you know, as the club owner. So I'm the strip club owner.
How fun. I love it.
So, I mean, I have a recurring role as Terry in that in a couple episodes, and so you'll see me again this season.
Exciting. Well, I'm excited to watch it. I've never seen it, so I'm gonna check it out. Now that
Yeah.
I know that you are a strip club owner, I mean, that's
The whole irony of that is that, like, I don't go to strip clubs.
right, right. That's
So, so those roles are always kind of interesting.
Have you been getting into, like, I mean, I remember you said you did like a lot of DJing. Do you do that now that we're in this kind of pandemic? Have you kind of dabbled back into DJing and doing some of that while we're in this time of uncertainty?
I can DJ, like, in my head, like, so with playlists that I play or music that I even post online. So, but no, I haven't done any spinning in a while. Um, and also that changed. I was doing vinyl and everything, so I'm sure that the way it is now, it's probably easier because you don't have to carry around records. It's all MP3s and all of that stuff. But I haven't done it in a while. But it's like riding a bike, though. You know, it's just a kind of skill you don't forget how to do.
Nice. Very cool. All right. Last question would be, what advice would you give to someone that wants to become an actor or an actress? What advice?
I'd say it has to be, you want to do it for the right reasons. Because I would say don't do it. You know what I mean? Don't do it for the wrong reasons. Because I always get a lot of people say, "Oh my God, I want to be famous. And I'm like, then you don't want to do this, because it's not as glamorous as most people think. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of sacrifice. And people just think, oh, I see on TV that you're automatically rich. I'm like, no, most of us are broke for a long time, until you hit, unless you're doing good in some other business to support your craft. But that's what I would say. I say, get the training you want. Find out about the business. Find out if this is even something you would really want to do. Most people who are artists are because they love it and they have a passion for it. It's internal to them. So like, I always say that the thing you should kind of measure it by is, would you do it for free?
That's good.
You would do it for free, then you're good to go.
That's it. I like it. I like it. Well, thank you so much for coming on. That was a pleasure talking to you. Where can people find you, and so they can follow your page? And
Man, Instagram at Lucius Baston. Everything, Lucius Baston. You find my name, you're gonna find me on everything. So I keep it same. I keep it easy. It ain't like, Lovejoy 22469, and so I just keep it easy at Lucius.
there it is, another episode. Until next time, remember to live, love, laugh. Bye.